I have a viewer request here that's kind of been a long time in the making, so my apologies to viewer Emily Trudeau. Here is your chicken Kiev. Let's take a larger sized chicken breast and pound it out between 2 sheets of plastic wrap. You can use a meat hammer if you want, but I don't have one, so it's a good thing that I always have an empty wine bottle laying around. Notice how I'm more letting it fall on top of the muscle than trying to whack it into submission. This will help you not to tear your breast, and since the whole point of this is to melt butter in here, we don't want a bunch of holes and tears. Pounding this as thinly as you can will make the rest of this process a lot easier. I'm going for about 1/4 inch or just under 1 centimeter. This is compound butter. Compound butter is butter that's compounded with other ingredients meant to piggyback off the butter's rich, creamy nature. Chicken Kiev is pounded chicken wrapped around a garlic and parsley compound butter. End of video. For instructions on how to make this, make sure to see the description below. I have 6 chicken breasts, so I'm going to cut this compound butter into 6 parts, placing 1 part in the center of each pounded chicken breast. And if you get this part right, you've won. Folding the first flap of chicken completely over the butter will give you the least chance of butter leakage. Fold up around the chicken breast until it's formed into one butter-filled chicken ball. Wrap it in plastic wrap to help it hold its shape. Rinse and repeat with the others, and then depending on how well your freezer works, freeze these for 15 to 30 minutes. We just need them to be able to hold their shape for the breading process. Here I forgot to turn the studio lights back on after my 30-minute freezing time, so if anyone knows a good culinary producer, my guy's doing a pretty bum job. I'm setting up a pretty standard breading station here, some all-purpose flour with a pinch of salt, followed by some beaten egg, and then finally onto our breading. I'm using panko, which is not traditional, but both tasty and crunchy. Notice how I use one hand for my flour and panko and another for my egg. Using this method is still but less messy. After all my little chicken balls are breaded, back into the freezer for another 15 to 30 minutes if you want to use them right away, or you can freeze them solid for later. If you're freezing them for later, you'll want to bake them from frozen at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for about 45 to 50 minutes. If you want them now, do this. Oil at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. I have sunflower oil about halfway up this cast iron skillet. I'm not trying to deep fry these, I'm just trying to seal the bottom of these chicken Kievs. About a minute on each side just to get the color consistent all the way around, and then onto a tinfoil lined baking sheet in a 350 Fahrenheit oven or 180 Celsius for about 20 minutes, checking at 15. You don't want to stick a meat thermometer in this. Remember, all that butter is going to be melted in there. You know it's done when you can squeeze the sides and it wants to hold its shape. Now out of the 6 of these, I did 2 in the traditional method I just showed you. I did 2 baked from frozen and 2 in a hybrid method somewhere in between. And let me tell you, I prefer the baked from frozen method most of all. It's the least hassle. It takes a little bit more time in the oven, a little bit more time in the freezer, but I don't have to deep fry anything and it still tastes great. Here you can see me putting some more panko down on my plate. This is just so my balls don't stick together in the freezer. As promised, I'm serving something real nice with this beet goat cheese salad from last week. Buttery, garlicky, crunchy, juicy, delicious. The butter on the inside of this chicken just keeps it really moist, and the salad that I made last week just pairs wonderfully with it. They take a little bit of time to make, but if you're gonna make one, you might as well make a couple, and they keep in the freezer just fine. This plate represents the past 3 episodes that I've done for this channel, plus the red wine vinegar that I used in the salad dressing is one of the vinegars that I made in the vinegar episode back in April. If you want to check out more of my stuff, please subscribe to the channel and join me Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central for new episodes. Make yourself something special and let your hunger be your inspiration.